Hello, hello. Well, today I want to explain something about the problem with what is called propositional tyranny. I think Vervaeke calls it, and my friend Mark he calls it that we are in the age of gnosis, and it's hard to explain it without falling into the propositional tyranny, right? So I'm going to tell you a story that I'm going to be inventing right now because it just came to me like an idea. I'm just gonna start saying it. Okay, so imagine imagine you wanted to know what is the symbolism of water, and you tell me, "Hey, Ignacio, can you explain to me what is the symbolism of water?" Like I really want to know that, right? So by knowing there, you mean a very specific thing, right? That kind of knowing that you're thinking, it's what's going to lead you to that propositional tyranny. But this is what's going to be my answer. I'm going to say, hey, do you have some time? Sure. Okay, hop in my car. And then you hop in the car, and I start driving. 30 minutes go by, and we talk about like things about life. And then you go again, Ignacio. So now, can we go to the symbolism of water thing that I was asking you? And I go, sure, man. Yeah, yeah. We can. I can explain that to you. Uh, but how's your work? How's life? Do you know this place that we're driving by? And and we continue talking, and time passes by, 2 hours, and we're getting close to the mountains, right? Very early in the morning, right? And we get there. We're both thirsty. You're thirsty. You're a bit pissed because you're like, okay, dude, like, yeah, I told you I have time, but I didn't want to do all this crazy, like, traveling. I didn't know it was like that. And I just wanted to know what is symbolism of water. So, why is it taking you so long to explain to me what is the symbolism of water? Like, I just wanted to talk about these things and just, analyze it and, think about it. And they go, man, trust me, I'm not forgetting that. But can you come this way? And we go out of the car and we start walking into this big mountain. And we start climbing, going around the trees, and we start talking about things related to the situation, right? Grab that tree, grab that branch, be careful with that cliff, you know, walk sideways, with that slide over there, watch out with the dirt, I don't know, different things that are there in the moment, okay? We're both very thirsty, very tired, hungry, everything, right? We keep walking, keep walking, keep walking, and then climbing and everything. And then we have to help each other because, like maybe you fell, I fell, and it's getting a bit dangerous. And we grab each other and we try to do things together and like teamwork and blah blah blah, all these things. And then let's say 2 more hours pass by, and we're getting like we pass a little cliff, like passing like on the edge of the cliff. Right here we have the mountain, and we're like going into a thing, and then we cross that, and over there we see a beautiful waterfall, right? The water is falling, of course, and is forming this big, I don't know how you say it, of water, like this big body of water in the floor. I don't remember the name in English. What would it be? But and we're both very thirsty, and we just look at it. We go, wow, that's so beautiful, perfect sunlight, perfect colors, green, beautiful, everything, all the lights coming through the trees, and we just go, man, can we stop talking? Can we go drink some water? I'm very thirsty. And we go there and we drink the water, and it just feels like, I don't know, I cannot even explain how it feels to drink that water after that And after all that we've been through and all the things, and then we just sit down and we stare at the waterfall, and we stare at the water over there, and just look at everything, look at the brightness and how the light moves and how it's transparent and how it's just doing watery things, right? Um, and we just stay there and contemplate. And then we don't talk, we just stay there. We grab some rocks and play with the water, maybe splash some water, just see how it ripples, and with throwing rocks, or start playing around with the water and just contemplating it there. And we don't talk, we just do that, tired, just resting, recovering to, because we know we're gonna have to go back, and and then and then we head back home. We do the whole, like, we drink some water before leaving because we don't want to get thirsty on the way there, so we drink some more water and we go pee, and all things, water related. Maybe you get there and you tell me a story, you start crying about something, you didn't want to tell all the people, and over there you felt like it was a cool place to just let out certain feelings, and you start crying, or we were sweating on the way there, and all of the watery things, and then we just head back home. and on the way back and on the way back we sit, and at one moment I said, okay, so what is it that you wanted to know about the symbolism of water? What are you going to do then? Are you going to laugh? Are you going to, continue with your... I just wanted to, like, analyze, give me your book. I wanted to think, like, do this thing, like, I wanted to, like, robotically, analytically just be trapped in this thing and just be thinking the thoughts of the thinking thing, of contemplating my own thinking of the thinkings that I'm thinking, What are you going to do at that moment? You're going to realize that we pretty much got to experience and understand a lot of the symbolism of water right there, right? You were just in it. You were grasping the symbolism of water right there. And then when you go back and you read a passage of some book on some ancient story or something that is speaking about water, and speaking about, so there was this water of blessing. Do you know? Do you have a feeling of what a water that comes from above that's blessing you? Do you know, like, can you understand that now? After being pretty much in a curse, walking and suffering and, all that, and then getting to the water that is now being a blessing for you. Can you grasp it better now? Can you read that, and do you have a better understanding now? Well, to do that, you can't be trapped into the propositional. The propositional is not an evil thing. It's not a bad thing that you shouldn't do ever. No, you can do it. It's fine. But it has to be in its proper place. And its proper place is not everything. It shouldn't be your framework of life. Like, that's why I said recently on a post on X, like, can you imagine, like, suffering all your life and, needing somebody to console you and just be with you, and there you have Christ in front of you. He appears, in the flesh, and he's just there in front of you, and you go, so I want to know, like, how is it that this situation is conveying meaning to reality, and how is it that meaning is occurring through symbols, and, like, instead of just going there and hugging him, maybe, I don't know, whatever thing, just chill and stay there, be present. You can't do that if you're trapped in this gnosis thing. I want to know things. I want to understand all the things and all the details and all the specificities and all the distinctions of the things. And I want to, like, grasp all the, if you're trapped in that mentality, then I would say that that's a propositional tyranny, and I would say that that would show that you're trapped in the gnosis era. Mark speaks of the intimacy crisis, and pretty much like if you pay attention to this little story that I just invented, it's about an intimate situation in which we get to learn about the profundities and the depths of water symbolism in another manner. In another manner. And the crazy thing is that we tend to go to the philosophers or the scholastics or like St. Thomas Aquinas or whoever, and we try to just read the things that they were writing. We forget that they lived things like this. They were living in nature. They were having these kind of situations because they didn't live in an era of the internet. They didn't live in an era of just ordering food from your house. They lived in a different manner. So they were contemplating these things directly. They were encountering mountains, and they were encountering uh, funny, silly birds and different things. So their whole propositional thing was occurring within a framework of living out and participating in life in a very specific way. So the propositional in their case was not the cage in which they were trapped in, which is pretty much what's happening right now. We're trapped in that. We just want to like sit down and just grasp it, on the computer and just chat GPT it and just, you know, and it's becoming a problem, mainly an intimacy problem. So we start having intimacy issues. We're on the phone more than with our kids, right? On the phone, or on the computer, or just thinking, or just reading books instead of, going outside and, breathing some air, and uh, just being alive, kind of thing. Um, that I would say that's the trap of the propositional, and this is why it's crazy that somebody like Vervaeke, for example, criticizes this, while at the same time he keeps you in that mindset, right? I wanted to take you out on a little ride on this story precisely to get you a bit out of that. Um, and I am part of a shamanic tradition in which pretty much what we do is pretty like embodied. If I want to understand about fire, we make a fire, make a bonfire, and we sit around it, and we stay there all night so it gets cold, so we know what is it to be far from the fire, close to the fire, right? We sing songs, we tell stories to remember certain things about life. Um, Very simple things that enriches my propositional knowledge and enriches my experience, let's say in church, experiences my intelligible understandings, because I'm enriching myself with intimate personal experience. And we believe in a personal God, personal intimate God, that he's within you from baptism. He's just indwells in you to sanctify you and to deify you, um, through theosis, through sanctification. And it's about participation. That's why it's sad to me, for example, things that happen in this age of gnosis is that, let's say somebody's mad at their priest or their bishop or somebody in the parish about something that happens, and they don't go there and try to do something about it in like bodily. At my parish they're not singing Gregorian chant, for example. It's like, well, are you teaching anybody? Like, I don't have time. Okay, then shut up. um, oh, there's altar girls. Well, are you going to the altar to do something? Are you talking to the priest? It's like, no, okay, then shut up, If you don't want to participate, if you don't want to be in the thing, then just shut up. Because it's about embodied participation. It's not about abstract thinking. That's not the main purpose of life. It's not about just abstract thinking and abstract writing and abstract that's a form. I call it abstractionism because it's not about the natural capacity of the intellect to abstract intelligible species from reality. It's not about that. It's about on top of that natural thing that occurs, like like the whole story that I told you, when you go to the mountain and do that all that thing, your intellect is abstracting, like it's grasping reality more. So that's happening anyways. But now, if on top of that you just think your thoughts that you abstracted, and then you think the abstractions that you abstracted from the abstractions, that's just, it's separating yourself from your embodied experience, you know? Separating yourself with your body, with your actual physical body, and your physical brother, and your physical, wife, and sons and daughters, and priest and bishop, and all of that. We're just separating ourselves in such a crazy way that it's destroying us, and we're not seeing it, and we think we can solve it through some better propositions in the linguistic world. Um, I'm not sure about that. I think we need to be more here. We should learn certain things and then be here and do the things. You know, develop the habits and then act according to those habits. Um, so yeah, I hope you like this little story. I hope it helps you think without overthinking, and I hope it more than thinking, it pushes you to go out into that mountain, into the forest, and into the waters, and learn about the whole amazing world that is out there waiting for you, that the Lord created for you to see His glory and sing His praises. So yeah, God bless you, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.